In the following video, we will discuss satisfactory academic progress, the continued path to financial aid success. SAP, also referred to as satisfactory academic progress, is a main factor in your eligibility as a student when receiving financial aid. This video is intended to help you gain an understanding of SAP and why it's important. In this video, you will learn: what is SAP? What are the requirements? What is the SAP process? If your SAP is not in good standing, what can you do? SAP stands for Satisfactory Academic Progress. CCCC's Financial Aid Office is required to evaluate a student's SAP at the end of each semester. Students must maintain a good standing SAP status in order to receive federal and state aid. SAP is measured in 3 different standards: GPA, completion rate, and maximum time frame. We will discuss each of these standards in this video. As mentioned previously, SAP is measured in 3 different standards. The first we will discuss is the grade-based standard. A student must maintain a cumulative 2.0 grade point average to remain eligible for financial aid. A 2.0 GPA is a C average or better. As long as a student earns a C or better in all courses, they won't have to worry about the grade-based standard. The next requirement for SAP is the quantitative measure. You will also hear this called PACE, pass rate, and more often, completion rate. The standards for quantitative measure is that a student must complete a minimum 67% of the total cumulative credit hours attempted. The percentage is calculated by the number of credit hours completed to the number of credit hours attempted. Withdrawing from courses and failing courses will affect the completion rate. This can be the most difficult to understand, so we will explore a few examples. A student was registered for 12 credit hours. At the end of the semester, the student completes all 12 credit hours. 12 credit hours attempted and 12 credit hours completed means the student has a 100% completion rate. That's an easy one. Let's look at another example. A student was registered for 12 credit hours for the semester and withdraws or fails 2 credit hours by the end of the term, finishing with 10 credit hours completed. To calculate the completion rate for this student, you take the 10 hours completed divided by 12 hours attempted to get an 83% completion rate. 83% is above the 67% minimum requirement, so this student is still in good standings. Let's look at one more example. This student was registered for 15 credit hours, but for one reason or another, completed 6 credit hours. 6 credit hours completed divided by 15 hours attempted equals 40% completion rate, which drops the student below the 67% minimum requirement. Not good. 150% maximum time frame. Students must complete an eligible program within a time frame not to exceed 150% of the published program length. Sounds confusing, right? So let's break it down further. For our example, if a student is enrolled in an academic program that is a total of 60 credit hours, to figure the maximum time frame, you would multiply 60 times 150%, which equals 90 credits. Let's try this again. If your academic program is a total of 75 credit hours, to figure the maximum time frame, you would multiply 75 times 150%, which equals 112.5 credit hours. The SAP process. Step 1. Students attend class. Step 2. At the end of each semester, grades are submitted and the SAP process is ran by the Financial Aid Office. Step 3. Notifications are sent via email notifying students of their current SAP status. The reason understanding and maintaining your progress is so important is because you start out with a SAP status of satisfactory, and if you fail to maintain your progress and fall below the minimum 2.0 financial aid GPA requirement and/or 67% completion rate, you will then be placed on warning. And if by the end of your warning semester you do not meet the 2.0 cumulative GPA or earn the overall 67% completion rate, your financial aid will be suspended and the financial aid office will no longer be able to provide funding. So unless you have recently come into a lot of extra cash, you may want to stay eligible for financial aid. If your financial aid is suspended, you will have two options to regaining eligibility. One is to pay for the courses out of pocket without the use of financial aid until you can bring your cumulative financial aid GPA back to a 2.0 and your overall completion rate to a 67% or higher. Or if the reason you were placed on suspension was due to extenuating circumstances, you may file an appeal. For further information on the appeal process, please contact the financial aid office. So now you have a better understanding of satisfactory academic progress. Our goal in providing you this information is to help you better understand the importance of maintaining your financial aid SAP status. You can now see why it is important to select the right program of study, to work with your academic advisor to always sign up for the correct courses, and to do your best in classes. Remember, there's a whole staff here in the Financial Aid Office and Academic Assistance Center to help you stay on track because we know how important this resource is to you and your CCCC graduation. We are here to help you make it through college.